it's Jackie with Intoxicating Arts, and today I'm making another card using the Simon Says Stamp July 2016 card kit. And I've actually already ink blended this panel. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. And I used the colors Peacock Feathers, Salty Ocean, and then the Simon Says Stamp Hybrid ink in the color Slate. And when you ink blend a background, you just want to make sure to start with the lighter color more towards the center, and then the darker color more towards the outer edge. And I used a ink blending tool to do this. A little sponge, was very easy to do. And then I'm going to make sure that that is completely dry because I'm going to be stamping and embossing on top of this, and I don't want to have little speckles all over the place and stuck on the card panel. I'm using the solid images out of the stamp set that was included in the kit, and I'll be using Versamark, which is a clear sticky ink, to ink up all of those stamps. The reason that we're using these solid images instead of the ones that are outlined is because I will be embossing these in white and then going over all of the white embossing with an alcohol marker. It's a really cool technique, and it looks best with solid images. So I'm making a frame here. I'm just taking that largest, longest solid image from the stamp set and stamping that in a diagonal here, and then I will actually be stamping that same image again. But when you're stamping like this, you can just stamp a little bit and then emboss it so you can kind of see where everything is and you know what you're working with. So just gonna dip it into the embossing powder, tap off the excess. And I did have a little bit of speckles here and there because I keep forgetting to use my anti-static powder tool, so that's what you see right now. I'm just gonna brush that on there to get the excess off. And then I will heat emboss these images and so I can see where to stamp again. So you can see there I had heat embossed those, and then I knew where to stamp the second time. And I'll be speeding this up now because the rest of it is really just stamping wherever you feel like. You just want to create a frame going all along the card. And you can use whatever images you want and kind of build the frame however you want. I did concentrate more of the images towards the top and the bottom, and then more towards the middle I kind of just did the smaller images and then a few of the dots that were included. So you can see here I added some of the smaller flowers in the bottom and the top, and then I'll use the dots to connect them in the middle, and then also I put a couple of the dots around the top and the bottom as well. So that's done, and you could actually leave it like this if you wanted. It looks really cool. I think just the white kind of looks vintage and it looks really nice, but when you put the alcohol markers on top of it, it really pops and it looks awesome. And I'm actually going to be stamping my sentiment before I do the coloring. And I'm using this stamp set by Avriel. It's called Handwritten Notes, and I'll have links to everything in my blog post, which I'll have below. And this is just a DIY stamping tool that I made so I can line everything up. And this is a the sentiment actually is one long line, and that's not how I want it to look. So I'm just going to selectively ink the happy birthday for the top line, and then move the whole stamp down, and then do the to you, and then there's this little tiny wonderful that you can add in there, or there's like belated and other things. I love this stamp set. I use it all the time. So here's the part where we color the white images. I'm using Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. You can use Copics, you can use Sharpie, Bic, anything that is alcohol based, and it needs to be alcohol based for this to work because you're essentially coloring over enamel or like plastic, so a water-based marker is not going to work. It's just going to rub right off. So you definitely need alcohol-based markers for this to work, and it looks really cool. And I'm going to speed this up really quick because you can color it in any way you want. I'm just doing some pinks. I think I did like a light pink, a bright pink, a yellow, and then I just finished it off with the green. So this card is actually done, And again, I'll have a link to the blog post with a close-up picture, and I'll also have a picture here right at the end. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!